to state officials who say so far they've collected 2,000 dead fish from the waters and the shoreline near the spill.
And there's growing concern now about our coral reefs. Tonight, an exclusive first look at coral in the impact zone. KITV4's Catherine Cruz continues our team coverage.
Well, you know, scientists with the Koala Marine Laboratory have been tapped to help state officials survey the effect of the molasses spill on our reefs, critical building blocks of our marine environment. This massive fish kill surprised people in more ways than one.
Before this week, no one really knew how well fish and coral were doing in a harbor where many considered the water quality, well, pretty bad. But the fish kill produced evidence of a broad spectrum of marine life.
I have to tell you, I was very impressed, sad, but impressed with the quality of life that was here in the harbor. I also have to tell you that likely, as soon as the sucrose goes down and the water levels, the chemistry of the harbor returns back to something that's normal, we'll likely see those fish come back.
But that may not be the story for the coral colonies. The first survey of coral reefs in the vicinity of the spill took place today. Crews weren't able to take any coral samples, focusing their efforts on documenting what they could and taking water samples to better understand the effect of the molasses spill. They saw lots of dead or dying coral.
The worst thing we saw is that there's quite a bit of death, a lot of coral bleaching or just dead coral skeletons, which is a little bit disappointing.
At this point, though, scientists can't say if the coral was already dead before the spill or if it was a direct result of the molasses.
Bleaching can happen pretty quickly. It can happen either for a long amount of time or if they're shocked enough, they can bleach and slough off their tissue.
Without a baseline, it's tough to draw any firm conclusions. Once scientists get permits to collect coral samples, they hope to learn more about how the corals died. It may take many more trips to collect information that will help shed light on exactly what's happening in these waters and how best to avoid a similar disaster.
The take-home story here, though, is that we had something that perhaps we should have been more prepared for. We weren't.
State health officials say it could take weeks and maybe months for the molasses to dissipate from the harbor. Until then, the casualty count is growing.
State health officials continue to monitor the path of the molasses. They do say that they believe that it will not impact Oahu's South Shore or the Pearl Harbor or Eva area. They have expanded the water testing in 10 areas to also include 2 more spots in the Kapalama Canal.